Mathematics, Science and Systems. It's an unusual day in Lahore, raining outside. I wasn't expecting that I would actually need an umbrella coming in. But hopefully it will be a usual day inside the classroom. This is now the third of our multi-day schools. We have already done spring school and a fall school, and I'm very happy to see that this activity is going on. And many of you have come from far-off places in Pakistan and from abroad. Thank you very much for joining us. This will hopefully be another 3 days exciting. Some things related to water, some things related to math and computing and so on and so forth. What I'll do is that I will just very quickly go over and sort of an overview of the school. Welcome you here. Give you a couple of instructions about how to go about some logistics related to dining and moving about in the campus as well as the operations. Before I do that, how many of you have come to the LUMS campus for the very first time? So many of you. This is very good to know. So although this was, I forgot to actually include a formal introduction, but I will just very briefly tell you about what LUMS is. I think most of our national participants would know, but just for the benefit of our international participants as well as people who may have not heard much about LUMS. We are a private university. We are a small university. I can see that many participants are from very large universities, from very large public universities as well. So in some sense, it is an unusual place in Pakistan. LUMS stands for Lahore University of Management Sciences, of course. But we are not just a business school. We started off as a business school. Currently, we are 5 schools. We have a law school, we have a business school, we have a social sciences school, and now we have an upcoming education school as well. In fact, that has already been announced, and I think the program will start very soon. So that is the structure. The building that we are in is the School of Science and Engineering, and this is where the center is. The center is housed inside the school, not in a department. I will tell you a little bit of detail about the center itself, but the center is an unusual entity within the school. The school has multiple departments. I myself am a faculty member in the Department of Electrical Engineering. But we have colleagues in the center who are from around, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So that's a little bit about the campus. I would strongly advise that while you are here, please take a look around. It's a beautiful campus. The facilities are very nice. You may want to visit the library, for example. It's not the largest collection in Pakistan, but probably one of the most well-stocked in terms of the handpicked labels and the important publications and books that you can find. In addition to the library, there are other very, very interesting things on campus that hopefully you will be able to explore. So let me just go into WIT itself, Center for Water Informatics and Technology. So especially for the water sector, this is now a new player in the game. Many of you would probably recognize, so we are not so new now. We established a couple of years back. This picture is from the inauguration that we did January of last year, and this is actually part of our advisory group, in which we are exploring some challenges and opportunities for water management in Pakistan. I think those of you who work in the water sector would recognize that these are one of the biggest names in the water sector, and we are very fortunate to have some very good people advising us. So the center was, as I mentioned, it was established January 22nd, 2016 during an SSC advisory board meeting. It is a very unique multidisciplinary hub now. I think the center is a very unusual entity in Pakistan because consciously from the very beginning, we wanted to have a focus on the interface of the traditional sort of environmental engineering, civil engineering, sort of classical ways of looking at water agriculture problems, but bringing in the ICT element especially. And I think this particular school is in particular focused on these elements of hydroinformatics. This is one term that you will get used to during this school, and precision agriculture, use of technology, especially these ICT-enabled technologies in the agriculture sector. We are also consciously very much incorporating the public policy and economics aspect of water in the sector center activities as well. So even during this school, you will have talks from our colleagues who are not informatics people, who are not engineers, but actually from our economics department, or people who deal with economic issues. And in fact, the schools that we have been organizing, consciously we have had schools focused on the public policy and water informatics aspects sometimes, but this particular one, the one that you are attending, is more focused on the science and technology aspect of it. But nevertheless, this is a very important aspect. And also what we recognize is that water by itself is not only a complex problem, but it has these linkages, these feedback loops, so to speak, with other sectors. And this is something that you will hear throughout the school, the so-called nexus with energy and climate and agriculture and food and so on and so forth. So in addition to the traditional areas of water resources research, we thought that maybe we can contribute this to the Pakistani national water scheme. I think internationally even there is more and more recognition that these sort of areas need to be solved. Then a little bit about what the WIT structure is like. So we, as I mentioned, that the center from the very beginning has been set up upon advice by some very, very able people. So I cannot just go around and sort of just mention everybody in great detail. One person in particular, Afin Siddiqui, is one of the instructors. But the founding chair of the group is Professor James Westcourt, who has been here now for more than a decade now, coming every January to us and helping us with different things. But in particular with the center, very much active. He's a professor at MIT. Professor Cedric Benson, who also has been coming to LUMS now multiple years, is running an energy center at Stanford. Carlo Gali is in Nestle headquarters in Switzerland, and he is actually helping us with the sort of the industry sort of perspective of the water and agriculture scene, and Nestle being a very important player in the global and national food industry. I think they are helping us with a lot of insights as well as giving us support for the center as well. Many of you would know Khalid Motazullah. I think he's the leading name as far as water practice is concerned, the leading Pakistan water engineer, very much involved in the center activities. Then we went about and sought a lot of help from our national organizations as well. So for example, the people who are leading the water center at Mehran, Professor Bakshal Lashari is with us. Afin is, as I mentioned, is relatively young but very experienced engineer and systems analyst at MIT, a colleague of Jim and now working with us quite a lot. As well as other people. So for example, he's a former Secretary of Irrigation and Agriculture in Punjab, and Mahmood Saab is actually from the World Bank. So some people are very, very active, a couple of are not so active, but we have been getting very, very good advice. And in addition to these people, there are other people who many of them are here in this room. The core team you may have encountered many of them during the course of this organization, but we do have an actual team which is running the center. So center is not just a website, it's really a center. A full-time program activity coordinator and a technical team and so on and so forth. And then the center is, like I said, that is an unusual structure within LUMS. We are not a department. We do not recruit our own faculty, but what we have done is that we have recruited faculty from around LUMS to be part of this sort of a network. And currently we have, the first cohort is about 13 faculty associates from around LUMS. And again, I don't have time to go over the profiles of everybody, but most of them you will actually see during the school. You see what their activities are and how they are participating. But just to give you some idea of, half of them are engineers, but about 3 of them are from the economics department, from the business faculty. There's a chemist in the portfolio as well, and so on and so forth. So each of them, they receive some support and seed grant and so on and so forth. And they contribute to the center activities as well. We are also recruiting our own experts as well. So one of the participants, Dr. Asif Khan, will be joining us full-time as our director of research this week. And we are actually expanding. So we are looking for good people. The one interesting development is that LUMS is going to set up a civil engineering and environmental engineering program. That decision has been made. Whether that is done this year or next year, but this is now very much on the card. So please help us. Please help us identify good people who we can recruit at this time and sort of help this establish this. And that will be very good for the center as well. I will just skip over a few things because we will be looking at all of these things throughout the school. But just focusing a little bit on the center's work, which I will be doing in a short while. We do some sort of exploratory things, but then we have these sort of flagship projects, so to speak. There's this Smart Water Grids initiative, a project that has been going on for the last few years in collaboration with the Irrigation Department in Punjab, the International Water Management Institute, WWF, and other sort of organizations, sort of an umbrella project for introducing these informatics tools for the water sector. And other things that I will talk to you about. Then we have very strong, again I'll skip all of this, we have a very strong collaboration network here at the center. So there are many organizations who are working with us. So these are some of the names which are listed here. And in the top row there, these are not regular academia, but these are really institutions and centers of excellence who are focused on research. So for example, International Water Management Institute, as many of you know, focuses on applied water research here in Pakistan. IASA, we have a colleague from IASA, Elena who has collaborated with us now for a number of years. So we have a very good relationship with IASA, which is a think tank based in Australia, and Elena would be talking to us about her workplace. Again, it is a center which focuses on big problems, big global challenges of climate and food and water and so on and so forth, and other places that you would actually recognize, ICCP, WWF, the government, DLR in Germany, and so on and so forth. And then we have the regular academia. These are just some of the names. I'm not putting in all the names, but where we have really direct collaborations and projects going on the ground. And then increasingly we are having this participation with the industry. And I think this is something that we will explore in this school as well, that how we can actually bring in the industry more into the focus and in deep collaboration with academia. This is something that we will talk about in some detail. Then the center also focuses quite a bit on the training aspect, and this, as you can see here, is part of our mission. We don't have a civil engineering or environmental engineering or a remote sensing GIS sort of program here at LUM, so we rely on you to help us, to guide us on what we identify what the research challenges are. And in turn, we also try to give something back. Some things that we know, we try to give back, and of course, a lot of things that you know, you come and teach us. So we have had these schools, for example, these multi-day schools. This has been a very successful series going on for the last couple of years. This is a biannual thing. Those of you who are coming for the first time, although there are no guarantees, but we have been trying our best to make it into a biannual thing in the first half of the year and the second half of the year. And we do intend to do a follow-up event in fall, hopefully, inshallah, but focusing on the public policy and economic aspects. Then we have had, because of our unusual situation, we have had training. So for example, the Punjab Irrigation Department had no internal capacity to do these water informatics-like technologies on the field. So we have trained their technicians to look at gauges and install instruments and so on and so forth, working with their consultants and advising them on technical design. Then we have regular seminars and courses, and then we have industry forum. And then sometimes organizations come to us and they hold dialogues and lunches and so on and so forth. So it's a pretty active center, and if you are on our mailing list, you must have been receiving regular updates of what has been going on. Then a very important aspect of our operation is that we have actually been getting very regularly students from outside. And again, students who are here, you are welcome to talk to us, to propose visits to the center. Summer is a good time to be here, to work with our experts, for example, or maybe over a break, or maybe if you have thesis that you are working on, need some help, we can link you with some of our experts. And internationally, we are in a unique position because people who are working on the Indus Basin, for example, and want to do field work, they have to be here and to gain first-hand information or to collect data and so on and so forth. We have been helping multiple organizations, as well as universities around the world in doing so. Then we are now getting some very good international visibility as well, although the center is very short-lived, but it's built on about a decade of work that started in my group and other people who have been doing work, and now we are getting a little bit of the word out that we are doing good work here. Then another sort of, I don't know how many of you know this, but an important aspect of the mission is really public outreach and awareness. And in that respect, we have actually consciously moved towards developing a few materials. So, for example, within this school, you will see a documentary that we have prepared. And the purpose of this is not only to create an awareness within the general public at a level which is very, very, of course, accessible and easy to understand, but more so at your level and our level, meaning that even the experts, they need to be reminded of what the larger issues are, what the interconnections are. So, for example, this particular documentary, there was Garden, that we will be showing tonight and today, later in the afternoon. And the promo is there on YouTube. Please do have a look at that, because you will enjoy it more for the audiovisual part of it. It connects history and culture and the technological aspect, but it's a very thought-provoking sort of way of thinking about the water aspects as well. So we did a screening of this documentary at MIT, in Oxford, in Georgia Tech, in 3 places already, and we've had very, very good response so far from our international participants, and a couple of times here in Lahore as well. And the documentary has run on a couple of Pakistani channels as well. And we are looking towards some multi-episode documentaries in which really it is also an excuse for the academics to really engage with the public, but to talk to each other as well, make those sort of connections. And there are plans towards other things. Then, as I was mentioning, that we are now very much focused on this sort of so-called industry affiliate program that we are not only thinking about, but that is now in operation, and we have even had our first member of this industry affiliate program. So organizations, private organizations especially, who are working in the water sector and the agriculture sector, how do they partner with the academia and then sort of take advantage of expertise with us, and how can we take advantage of the expertise which is present in academia. Now, we will talk about this in great detail in a panel discussion later today, and somewhat in my talk as well. Okay, now coming back to the school itself, what I'll do is I'll give you a broad overview of what the school is, and then we will just dive right away into all of the content. So first of all, as you must have noticed, that the unifying theme for the school is water informatics. Again, this is a phrase, maybe a catch-all phrase for a lot of things, but I cannot just define what water informatics is, but hopefully by the end of this school, but you will know what people who are involved in water informatics do with this. And there are 2 very important areas. These are not just the only 2 areas where these informatics tools are useful, but we thought that these are 2 very important areas that we can focus on. For this particular school, we take these two areas. So there are 2 main modules over 3 days of lecturing. So the first module is systems analysis, or in particular water systems analysis. But the tools are so generic that you can apply to other sectors as well. And the second module is on remote sensing for hydrological applications, but then of course you can use these tools for other applications as well. So we have 14 invited speakers, lecturers, and panelists in all. The main instructors are 4. These are our international participants. So for module 1, systems analysis, Dr. Afrin Siddiqui at MIT and Dr. Alina Kovskaya at IASA, they will be leading the content. This content is purposely designed to be slow and you can say thorough and but light as well, giving you an informal introduction, because that can only be done in an informal way, within over a span of 4 to 6 lectures, and a somewhat complete, you can say, introduction to what the flavor of systems analysis is. And likewise for remote sensing, so we have 2 experts, Dr. Susan Austin from UC Davis and Dr. Stefano Vignadoli from Italy, CNR, helping us deliver this second module. So these are the main lectures, and then supported by these are some research and the talks and case studies. So we will occasionally have an expert coming in and telling us about a particular case or a particular application of the content that we have talked about. Now you can apply this in a particular scenario. And I'm pretty sure that our lecturers would also be pointing us to many, many interesting applications and case studies as well. So the other lectures are sort of more detailed research talks, you can say. Then we have a very interesting panel discussion later in the afternoon. Again, I would strongly recommend, sometimes our students are sort of very myopic in some sense that they think, oh, this is something, just maybe talk and not have much depth in content or whatever. We will start with a documentary screening that will actually set the stage, a backdrop for what the discussion is. And then I would moderate a discussion on the role of industry, academia, and government in sort of bringing in these water informatics and precision agriculture technologies to the picture. And then towards the very end, we have a special closing session in which we are expecting very much that the Pakistan Commissioner, the Indus Water Commissioner, Ms. Asif Beg, will be giving a keynote. And again, we will also be doing some couple of MOU signings with the Indus Water Commission as well as with Nestle. And then, of course, at the end, if you attend all of the sessions, and Subhan has been reminding to give you some reminders about attendance and so on and so forth, and you will get your certificate for attendance. And that actually brings us to the last part with some general instructions. So now, all of you must have received this little pack. This is very important. So if you open the pack, what you will see is a little schedule. This is the schedule that you will go by. We will be keeping very strong eye on the schedule. You will not be later than maybe a few minutes. So please adhere to this schedule. You will not be waiting for people to show up, or always there is enough sort of participation that we can start without any delay. In addition to the schedule, then we have the biographies of these instructors. Again, it probably doesn't really make sense for me to read out everything from the biography, but this is for you, not only just to introduce the speakers, but take a look at what the speakers and the panelists are and find time to interact with them, with us, with each other, to find out what the mutual interests are and so on and so forth. And then there is this campus map. Okay, so this is very important for you to recognize where you are sitting, and then for when the lunch time comes, where you have to go to do your lunch. If there is private way, but private way will be during the school. But for regular prep way, if you want to go to a mosque, for example, or urgently if you need to check out the book at the library, which I don't think happens quite a lot these days, but nevertheless. This is a campus map, or you want to find a colleague at a different school. Take a look at this. And then a very important thing again, which Subhan has been after me to keep reminding you, that these are your lunch coupons. These are barcoded coupons. You don't need to pay for lunch when you go to the Pepsi Dining Center. This is indicated in the map. This is just a building which you go outside and right across from the from where we are. So you would have to present these coupons. There is one coupon for every day. For all 3 days, we will be having lunch there together. And then, of course, we have a writing pad and some rules of conduct. Again, it is not policing, but just be courteous to each other. We will be following the schedule pretty much through the minutes now. There is a little bit of an attendance policy, especially for students. There are students at LUM who are claiming credit for participation in this school, for example. The common practice around the world. And in addition to participation, we do a little bit of assessment at the end as well. So again, there are multiple people who have multiple interests and multiple sort of levels of things. So if you want to claim at least your certificate, then there is this daily attendance policy that you will have 2 attendances, AM and PM. To make sure that you do your attendance with Subhan at least twice a day. Attend most of the sessions. Subhan tells me that he has an 80% attendance policy. You can figure out how many sessions there are and how many you can skip, or for some reason if you're not able to attend. The lecture hall policy I will not read. This is just common sense. Just turn off your phones and you are free, of course, you are free to interact with the person who is talking, interrupt the lectures or the seminar speakers as much as you want, but don't interact among yourself, and so on and so forth. One very, very important thing is that I hope all of you have been able to take a look at this course material, the wiki, before coming here. I will just shortly open that and show you a little bit, because I think that is important. All of the lecture material and handouts, they will actually be placed on the wiki. I will just show you how to operate that. In addition to that, we are trying our best to hand you the printed form of the slides just before every session as well. And I think most of you have gotten by now the handouts for the first session. If not, for this very first session, at least from the session after, you will be getting your slides in your hand from the very first. And if you have your mobile phone or a laptop, and if you have internet connectivity, you can just go on the wiki, and so all the material for today, for example, is already online. Okay, before I go to the wiki, again, I just wanted to very quickly acknowledge that the logistical support from the Department of Electrical Engineering here, because of course that is the base from where we are operating. In this particular floor is also electrical engineering, acknowledging the students. Sponsors, of course, the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. I wanted to make a little bit of propaganda. It's been very helpful. So, I mean, this is a splendid organization. You think about an activity, you send them the proposal, they always help 100% success rate in organizing an activity, for example. This is really tremendous. And in industry, of course, Nestle has been very gracious, helping us with establishing the center, of course, but in this particular activity as well, giving us very good support. The technical program committee, who have actually helped us organize this. These are the people who have helped us to gather speakers and then organize the program. Most of you are here. In fact, all of them are here. You will be hearing from them. And then very importantly, these are the people that you have to go to and make your complaints or whatever if you don't like the food. Well, I'm not responsible for everything on the menu, but on campus, you can come to me and talk about everything, including the food and so on and so forth. That joke aside, I mean, in addition to the complaints, any sort of feedback or any questions, please do come and talk to us. And, we have a very sort of a frank and friendly sort of relationship with our students, and likewise for participants who are coming from outside. So Juan, I think he's the warrior who is sort of roaming around and running around. So I should say, and doing all the logistics. So Zilda, of course, is very much involved in all the organization capabilities. So these are the two main people who are doing all the logistics. And then Kala, of course, is a very important person. He's my PhD student here, but with regards to organization of material and so on and so forth, and I might like to. And again, I would like to acknowledge and thank all three of them. So one is not here, but we will do that. Okay, now let me open the wiki so that you know how to access material. So by the way, the center has a website, but this is not a center website. This is running from inside my personal research group. The advantage of the wiki, of course, is that we can do some modifications and add and subtract things very easily. So if you go to this website, although this direct link would be available. So this is Finance, this is the main page, my group page. I'm not making an advertisement for my page, but how to navigate. On the side, in the sidebar, there is this, again, tab WIT events. Okay. This is where we have been archiving all of the previous events as well. Again, I mentioned that this is not a central website. This is just sort of a wiki page where all of the previous schools, for example, the same similar wiki pages and other sort of archive material is there. So I mean, that's a pretty interesting page for you to visit later on as well. So for example, if I click the spring school that happened last time, this is how the wiki looks after. And this is all publicly available. So even after you have gone back home or some of your friends have not been able to come to us, all of the activity has been archived there. So not only the slides, even this opening presentation, but even the videos. There is a YouTube channel, so all of it, full-length videos, they are there on the wiki. So likewise, we will be doing it for this particular event as well. So as the event progresses, everything will be on the wiki. So this WISS page, now if you click on that, so this is where you should frequently visit. Here, there's this program for tab for program. So if you click that, so this is a page where all the material is. Explaining all the modules, for example. As you can see now, the videos are of course not up yet. But the slides as we are receiving from the speakers and we are actually putting them all in. So for example, my opening slide, I just came in and just opened the opening slide and the very first lecture is there. And like I said, that the slides will also be in print from here. So feel free to use this wiki. All of the updates will be on this this page, and hopefully all of you have some electronic devices which will use throughout the course, or at least at the end of the day to take a look at the regular updates. So this is all from my side. It's taken a little longer than what I expected to be, but if there are any questions or comments regarding the logistics, or if I'm forgetting anything, if I'm forgetting anything. Okay, so should we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so welcome to LUM, and let me just dive in and just introduce our first speaker and lecturer, very important person to be part of this school and helping us out with the organization of the school not only, but also with our center's research activity as well. So Professor Elena Ronskaya, I will let you read the full biography, but she's heading she's the program director for the ASA group, the Advanced System Analysis group at IASA. So not only is IASA the world leading place for system analysis, but within IASA, I mean, she is leading the core group that does system analysis. So there cannot be a more appropriate person to introduce systems analysis to you. So I would just straight away invite Elena to go ahead and start your